It's the 15th of May, just about to drive. I don't know if this video will work because it might be too noisy. The car sound might be too noisy. But I'll see how I go. And anyways, I'm just on my way to work, driving from Northam to Bakers Hill, and felt to do a video. That's my alarm. Oh no, I actually pressed snooze instead of dismiss, so it's going to come on in 5 minutes again. Oh bugger. Anyways, I just thought I'd do this video to talk to you all while I'm driving to work. It's a 20-minute drive. I've had a really weird night, and I know that many of you, this happens to you. I went to bed really early. I was really tired, so I had church yesterday, which was lovely. Went to Catholic Mass on, oops, hang on a second. I just got to get past this driveway and got to get over that road and set up the phone. Sorry about that. Alright, so that's probably going to happen again. I'll just have to do something different. It's not really going to work, is it? This video might not work. Sorry everyone. Yeah, you can't even see my face. Hang on a minute. How can I make it stay? I'll see if that one works. Basically, Catholic Mass on Saturday. We did the Father George and Father Conrad's farewell dinner Saturday night, which was really, really, really sad. So sad to see Father George go. I've let Father George know that I'm not Catholic, and I find the Catholic rituals and the way they do their church really weird. 3 times I've been now. Once was Christmas Eve 2 years ago. Once was Good Friday this year, and then again Saturday. Just gone. Just a normal mass. But Father George is part of the op shop that I go to. Well, he was. He's gone now. He's leaving Northam on Wednesday, tomorrow, in 2 days. He's leaving Northam to go to Thornley because the priests have to be moved around. They get moved around every 3 years normally, but this time he's been up in Northam for 9 years. He told me he's going to come up. He's going to see the op shop. He definitely wants to. Wow, the petrol's really cheap today. That's weird because 161.90. Yesterday it was 167, and normally Wednesday is the expensive day. So that's weird. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so basically, I went to the farewell supper, mainly because every single Friday for the last 3 or 4 months, Father George comes around and helps out with the op shop, and he and I have had lots of different conversations, and I just wanted to honour him by saying goodbye. Plus, the lady who runs the op shop asked us or everyone from the op shop if we could come, and I was like, yes, of course. Well, for me, on my behalf, I was like, yes. And then we did a card from the op shop to Father George. There was another Father Conrad, who I don't know that well. Anyways, that was Saturday, and that was really lovely, and I got to meet more of the congregation, and there's so many of the Catholic Church congregation, the parishioners. I see them around about when I'm doing the op shop duty. They come into the communal kitchen, the St. Joseph's hall, which has a communal kitchen. It's the kitchen that the op shop uses on Fridays. Anyways, yeah, that was really good to do, but I had 2 farewell parties to go to on Saturday, so I went from one and then to the other, and the second one was to a long-standing couple in Northam, leaving Northam due to work and going down to Glen Forest, which is only for 30-minute drive away, so it's not like they've gone forever away. And they had a really big gathering, and I got there quite late, so most of the people had gone by then. But there was a games night, so there was the dinner, and then there was this games night. So I got there for the games night, and that was really fun. And in that, all sorts of networking happened. Both of those gatherings, networking happened. It was really beautiful, connecting to more and more people in the community. I felt really tired Saturday, and I didn't even want to go, but I did anyways. I actually did anyways, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. And then Sunday was church, and it was such a beautiful church service, of course. And then Sunday I drove down to Midvale to see a friend who normally comes up to me. She normally comes up to church well, she's been, not normally, but she started to come up to church, to my church in Northern. But she's struggling with money, petrol costs, and this, and tiredness. She's vaccine injured, and she's just exhausted all the time. And yeah, the poor darling, really exhausted. So I got her a hamper from the church and brought a big food hamper for 4 people. Drove down. We spent the rest of the afternoon together. She's got a lot of sad stories, so I will be really honest, I did get tired because the sad stories, I try not to let them bring me down, but they do, especially when it's a repeat, especially when it's something that's been going on for a while, and also you're thinking, where is the solution? Because we have all this faith and trust in God, and that faith doesn't waver. So you have that faith, but at the same time you're like, where's the reprieve on a human level? Where's the reprieve? When's this suffering end type thing? That sadness is an earthly human sadness, and we just put it in the hands of God. And when we confess, when we share our burdens within fellowship, the burdens get lessened. And we do big prayers to God. It's support. It's a really beautiful big support system for people going through hard times. So yeah, I drove home, got home about 7:30 p.m. and I was quite tired, very, very exhausted actually. And I thought, go to bed early, I'm going to have a really good night's sleep. And now we're on Great Eastern Highway. We're going to have the good night's sleep. I just couldn't sleep. It's crazy. I've heard of this happening to so many people and I had work the following day, and I'm going to work now so tired. I am so tired right now. My mind just kept looping and ruminating on various situations that have happened in the past, various comments and various statements and various interactions, and I'm going, God, please let it go, please take this away. All night, just waking up with yet another bout of heart palpitation, another bout of panic attack, another bout of human worry, and going, God, release this, I release this to you, and help me let this out. I need this out of my system. I need this gone. I don't need this in my life anymore. Or what is it that I need to learn from this? Why am I still ruminating on these? I've got this really clear answer, because I really need you to really delve into every element of resentment that you have, and every element of frustration, sadness, where you felt injustice has occurred, where you felt indignated, resentment, like wherever there's harbouring resentment. So basically the message I got was, I need you to really delve into the feelings of those resentments, like really feel them, so that you can forgive yourself and the others who are involved in the situation. So yeah, it's been a really big night of purging. We'll just call it a night of purging, a night of panic attacks, from just all the horrible things that have happened. myself. I wasn't in my truth. I didn't honour myself. I didn't feel like I could say or do what needed to be done to transform it into a healing situation, a situation where authentic, truly authentic, honest communication was taking place. Because as I've shared with you all many a time over, I realised that I often didn't speak my full truth. I often held back. For so many different reasons. Like I either didn't trust that I was going to say the right words. Well, I wasn't a Christian. I wasn't praying to God and asking for perfect words. You know, whereas now, of course, I do. Oh, I've got so many beautiful stories to share about that as well. So many beautiful stories to share. So that's speaking the truth in the moment and trusting that what we're saying is what God wants us to say. I've had that happen so many times in the last few days, and I have so many beautiful stories to share about that. So I'll just have a think about whether I'm going to do that right now or not. Basically, you know, I came to realise a few months ago that I was not ever, or very rarely, in my true self-empowered, self-loving, self-honouring, self-respecting, godly, alright, this is not working, hang on, godly, and truly peacemaking, truly being of a service in that moment to making high frequency interactions. Because by me not being self-honouring and self-loving, I was reducing and dulling the dynamic, the interaction, the frequency, not being godly. And the other thing I want to say is I mean, there's plenty of times when I was, absolutely plenty of times, many times when I was in my power, I was being self-honouring and self-truthful, and I could feel the difference. And the outcome was always a really good, positive, healthy outcome. The times when I didn't, the outcomes generally became very low density, nightmare material, basically. And I remember at the times thinking, why can't the others step up? Why does it always have to be me that makes it work? Why does it always have to be me that actually puts in the hard work, and me the one that has to use all the positive language and all the let's just say counselling language when there's a dynamic in place, and the other one just can let loose and go for the jugular and just be as nasty as they want and just be as mean and sarcastic or demeaning or whatever. Where's their accountability? Why is it only going to work good? But there have been plenty of times when I've seen others take accountability, and I've really acknowledged the person straight away and said thank you for your part in creating for this to go. So there are so many times when I've seen people take accountability for heightening the frequency, not letting it go low density, and speaking their true truth, the inner truth. I'm going to be doing a live later about understanding to inner standing. So the process of going into the place of inner standing rather than understanding. It's huge. There's a huge difference. So we're going to go into that later, and I'm going to go more into the masculine feminine balance within ourselves and within our interaction with others, which ties in a bit with transactional analysis as well, which I've spoken to you about before, about the the parent, child and adult in the light and the dark within ourselves. So yeah, it's a very fascinating time. I find nighttime really challenging because I know I need rest to get through the day, and then if I can't rest at night, the day sort of suffers quite significantly. But then I realised I had to just let it go, because the more you stress that you're not sleeping, I actually suffer from insane insomnia. I spent a lot of my life not being able to sleep at all at night. I'm a survivor of major, really like next level, sexual abuse. And of course a lot of that happened at night. And one of the only times that I used to be able to sleep really deeply was between 3 and 6 p.m. in the afternoon, which is interesting, and 9 to 11 in the morning, which is very, very interesting. So I used to often not be able to sleep at all at night. I spent so much of my life not being able to sleep at night, ever. I just couldn't. Especially when my kids were little, I was always keeping watch over them. Well, not always, but often, just always worried for their safety. Someone going to break into the house and kidnap them, and it's just crazy stuff. But then first thing in the morning, if I could, I'd have a quick little nap between 9 and 11. And if I could, I'd have a rest in the afternoon. So anyways, and I learned about insomnia, but the last thing you do is look at the time, worry about that you're not sleeping. You've got to let the worry go that you're not sleeping. So I've learned a lot of techniques around how not to worry about having nights of sleeplessness. So last night I worked really hard on that, and now as a Christian I was able to go straight into the prayer space. Like, God, please, what is it that I need to learn right now? It's so comforting. And then what I was getting was a lot of information about you're releasing, you're purging your resentments, like the deep resentments, because when we accept a prodigal spouse or a prodigal child or a prodigal friend, and I learned yesterday at church that prodigal means reckless, so someone who's done reckless abandonment. So prodigal is someone who's done reckless abandonment, and they basically my words, you could say it's unwise decisions that they made, but they made a freely reckless abandonment decision and acted a certain way. Like we know about the prodigal son wanting to get his inheritance, and he spent it very unwisely. So he had reckless abandonment with the way he was spending his inheritance, and then when he had nothing, he just like, Father, can I come and work in the pigsty? Because he thought the pigs get fed. My father's pigs get fed better than I am right now, because he was on the streets and homeless. And of course, the prodigal father, had been waiting, trusting in God that his son would come home after he learned his lessons, and he welcomes him back, not to feed the pigs, but as his son, and then puts the best robe of the house on and puts on this massive big feast for his son. So the prodigal father, which is any one of us who are waiting in reckless abandonment, we are also being reckless in our reckless abandoning of our sheer joy and faith of our prodigal one who's been recklessly abandonment coming home. It's a really interesting story, and it's a parable to basically get people to comprehend the power of reckless abandonment, because we learned this in church yesterday. So basically God is recklessly abandoning of his love for us at all times. So God loves us in a reckless way. He just free will just takes a huge risk. He just loves us completely and utterly, regardless of the consequences. In a way, the pastor was saying yesterday that people get really uncomfortable when someone's deeply, radically, through the roof, recklessly in love with someone. Other people often get really uncomfortable around it. They find being around that reckless love really, 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 really. I'm in Bakers Hill. I'm just turning left into the street to my client's property. That people do get really uncomfortable around expressions of true, deep, and freely abandonment love. And I've always looked at it and gone, oh, I'm so happy they're so in love. And when I haven't had love like that in my life, I'm going, oh, wow, that must feel so good. I'm so glad they've got that. And I'd really love to have that one day. So I didn't have jealousy around it. I came to realise it's really important not to have jealousy. I learned if I'm feeling jealous, turn it around and go, oh, I'm so happy they have that. And I would love to have that one day, but not that I take it away from them, just that, yeah, I watch it and go, oh, that's something that I'd really like. Just driving into my neighbour's, not my neighbour's, my client's property. I'm going to have to shut this video down, just park the vehicle. She's got a really beautiful property here. Now, what am I going to say to wrap this up? I want to say that the church sermon was just amazing, and maybe it triggered something in me last night, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I was doing so much releasing with my resentments, because, you know, that prodigal father, if it got unpacked more, because I've actually asked the pastor if he could actually unpack it more one day, and maybe the prodigal father did harbour elements of resentment for his son squandering half of his hard-earned inheritance before the father even died. There might have been moments of that, but he released it immediately to God. So I'm coming to realise that if we can release our resentments to God, because as humans, of course, we're going to fall into that egotistical, resentful space, because I just think that's just what humans do. Because I learnt the other day too, a few sermons ago, which I discussed in one of my YouTubes, that they said that humans by default go to the negative. So when I realised that humans by default go to the negative, it takes a really strong person to not by default go to the negative, and it's a person who, and I came to realise it's so interesting that I by default go to the positive. You know, pretty much predominantly have. Like, I'm that glass half full, look at the prosperity, look at the blessings. I've been like that most of my life. I've had a lot of people comment on me being an amazing idealist, a visionary, super positive. And I just thought, I realise it's like a survival mechanism that I put in place to survive, because there was just too much negativity around me. So I had to look at what was good in life. I had to look for the good. Otherwise I wouldn't have survived. So I realised the reason why I did that was because there was so much tragedy in my life from a really early age. And I was speaking to some people at the church a long time ago about, it's interesting when I was learning about the fruits of God's spirits, and I was learning about how, wow, so many of these fruits of God's spirits I've had in me for a long time. Hang on, it's my neighbour just opening the door. She's going to say, hello, would you like a cup of tea? Basically, I'll talk about this more later. Not my neighbour, my client. Basically, when I realised that I had the fruits of God's spirits in me at a really early age, that's when I really clicked. You only get those godly fruits of spirits when you've received God into your life. So I've received God into my life at a really early age. And thus I was able to live the fruits of God's spirits through me at such an early age and throughout most of my life. And now that I'm aware of them, I can hone them. Now I can research them, really research what they really mean and hone them and actually master them as an adult, as a Christian adult. Powerful stuff, everyone. But yeah, last night I couldn't sleep very well, and I was releasing and purging, but I did it in such a place of peace again, and trust in God's journey of me. And when I asked why, I got the message. It's to release the resentment so that you can get to that place of forgiveness. So I just thought I'd share that with you as I was driving to my clients, because it was just really made me I woke up feeling so tired and really shattered and really fragile because of last night and all this purging. So, it's a really powerful process. Trust me, everyone, it's a really important process, and we just got to be just gentle and kind with ourselves about when we're vulnerable. And I've actually sent my client a message this morning saying I didn't get a good night's sleep. I'm in quite a vulnerable space, so she actually knows that I'm not as zoom and perky and strong. Let's just use the word strong as I usually am, because my client has some emotional issues, and we do spend a lot of time working on some of her issues, and it's like with my friend yesterday as well. And we've got to be really honest with our energy levels, what we can and can't. When we can and can't really be there, we've got to do the self-care first, always. And that's something else I learnt the other day. I'll go into that more later. It's a really interesting topic. We had a big discussion. A group of us. It was on Monday the 8th. There was 3 of us talking about self-care, self-boundaries, how important it is to know when you can really be there for others and when you just really need to just have your own space and be in your own energy. And it's just a wonderful journey, this self-discovery journey within self-love, within the paradigm of being under God's, within God's protection. It's a beautiful journey. Leave it at that. We are here. Let me just, where's that button gone? I can't see it. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay. See ya. Keep well.